Shout out to having a cleaver on your belt. Do you remember, have you watched Fight Club? Do you remember when Tyler Durden, or whoever he was, said, your pain's right here. You know, don't withdraw from it. Don't deal with it like those dead people deal with it. You know, get in there with your pain and focus on yourself. Don't focus on what the newspaper says is important, because you're like, well, it's like a way to minimize your pain. Like, well, look, this is more important than my pain. There's mudslides. You know, people losing their homes. There's people living in survival camps for like 10 years now, totally living off the subsistence and support of foreign countries. You know, something crazy is going on in my home, but I'm just really concerned with what the lumber chopper basketball team's up to. What those lumber choppers really need to start doing their draft picks better. Or President so-and-so, man, we really got to get President so-and-so out of there. Oh, really? Why? What things has he done or she done to change the country for the worse? Well, you just know this country used to be great. You don't know. You're not a political science major. You just got something crazy going on at your home, and you can't focus on that because you don't want to be with your pain. So you go deal with it like the dead people deal with it. They listen to talk radio, absorb opinions that aren't their own, and have a mentality spoon-fed to you, so you could avoid your own mentality. You got a cut on your hand and you need direct pressure on it, but like, well, I put direct pressure on it for a little bit and nothing happened. So then I start putting other things in my hands, like drugs, alcohol, other people, concepts, like hobbies, all these different things that I expected to heal the cut on my hand, because I couldn't be bothered to take the time to deal with it myself. Oh, I couldn't do it. I tried. Yeah, you don't try. That when you get you're out climbing mountains by yourself, and a boulder falls on your arm, you don't try to cut it off. You're out riding your horse and you don't see some barbed wire on the ground, and it's caught around the back of your horse's legs, and it bucks, you come off, your leg sticks in the stirrup, your hip dislocates, your horse runs off. You don't try to drag yourself back to the road. I mean, you could lay there in the field and bitch and moan about how people don't remove their trash from the environment when they remove themselves from the environment. You could think, well, cell phone service needs to be everywhere, so I could call 911 right now and have a helicopter land over me, or you could drag yourself to the road. All through life, there's going to be these terrible things that happen. Yeah, they're freaking terrible. I don't disagree. I also don't disagree that sometimes there's things in life that you can't just sever, like an arm trapped in a boulder. But you could get strong enough to lift those things. You could get strong enough to know that I have to carry them. You could know that you have limitations. Sometimes knowing you have limitations makes you stronger than anybody. Stronger than the people that don't seem to have any. I know people that don't watch violent movies, for a reason, and Not watching violent movies is trying not to see ads for alcohol as you drive down the street. One of my friends said, the hardest thing in my life isn't not drinking. The hardest thing in my life is not seeing other people drinking. Eventually you just have to say, like, that's going to be on the landscape, and I'm going to move right by it. Maybe a small blip on my radar. I've had some problems in my life, big problems. Some problems that you don't really conquer, some problems you just cope with, like I mentioned. Never ever did I say, well, this is just going to have to be the way things are. I'm just going to have to suffer. I'm just going to have to, live this life that's less than a full life for me. It's never been an option. As far as I know, I've got one shot at this life, and it's going to be great because I make it so. And if there's certain things that get in my way and trip me up, that only makes me stronger for the future because I know that I could cope with them. It's a thing like about bravery. No one's born brave. You deal with something, it freaks you out. Next time you deal with something, you deal with it better, and it freaks you out. Next thing you deal with something, you ace it, it freaks you out, but your heart rate barely raised. Freaks you out. I imagine there's a lot of people that could jump out of a plane and not be freaked out by it. I think most of us feel a little concerned. We're leaving a perfectly good plane. Anyway, I'm not angry. It's like speaking with emphasis, speaking with like deep feelings, speaking with like touching all my past where I've felt things aren't working right, where I've felt that I've cut my hand, where I've felt my arm's been trapped in a boulder, where I've felt that my leg's been dislocated, and I've wished all sorts of things. I wish someone was going to come rescue me. I wish someone was going to come solve my problems. And what it's always come down to is you have to do it yourself. And really, that's the best thing. It's the best thing for you. If someone came along and fixed my problems for me, I'd never be any stronger than I was at that point in time. Something terrible happened. It seemed to me that it was more than I could deal with, so someone else dealt with it. Don't want to be that person. Can't be that person. It's only one life I've got, and this is it.